G'day folks, this is Tony aka Crypto Aussie back with another video, and today we're talking about Yieldzilla. So what is Yieldzilla? Well, it's a Titano fork, which if you don't know means that they've basically copied Titano, made a few changes and relaunched it and rebranded it. So if you're in Titano or if you've seen my video on Titano where I've explained some of the details of that, if not, make sure you go back and take a look at that. Then you'll have an idea of how this one works. But there are a few differences. So today I want to dig into Yieldzilla and see what it's all about. So starting here on the website, you can see 2.5% daily is what they're promising. There it is there, which is a massive number. If you go down here a little bit, it's 916,474% APY. Or to put it another way, invest $1,000 today, get 9.1 million in 12 months' time. That is seriously nuts. But let's check it out. So here is the Git book, aka the white paper, and this is a good spot to take a look. So let's start with the token. Go down here. The native token is YDZ. It's on the Binance Smart Chain, and you buy it on PancakeSwap. And what happens is when you buy it, they're calling it buy, hold, earn. So you simply buy it, put it in your wallet, and then you earn rebase rewards by interest payments directly into your wallet. All that means is that every 15 minutes, they're going to essentially airdrop 0.02604% of whatever you're holding into your wallet every 15 minutes. And that will continue until the maximum supply of 3.25 billion tokens has been reached. Now, right now, there's about 500,000 tokens that have been issued. So there's a long way to go before we hit 3.25 billion. So you don't need to worry about that. What you do need to worry about, though, is that adding that many tokens into the supply is going to have a massive, massive downward pressure on price because it just adds so much supply. And because, like so many of these Titano forks and similar sort of protocols, the only way to actually extract returns is to sell the token. So massively increased supply, lots of sell pressure. That means the token's going to be pushed way down in price, potentially. So the question is, what is going on? What are they doing to try and combat that, to make sure that they back the value of the token? Well, let's dig into that a little bit more. The backbone of it is the fees or the taxes. So every time someone buys Yieldzilla, they pay a 15% tax. And every time you sell, you pay a 20% tax. So they're quite hefty taxes on the transactions. So what happens to those? Well, right here, you can see in the buying side, 3% goes in the liquidity pool. That's connected to Yale here. We'll talk about that in a minute. 5% goes to Yes, 4% goes to the Treasury, and 3% to the black hole. And sell trading fees, slightly different numbers. Black hole's the same, the others are slightly higher. But that's where they go. So let's dig in a little bit to what those things actually are. So let's start with the liquidity pool, 3% of buy trading fees, 5% of sell trading fees. So what actually happens here is that those taxes go into the liquidity pool. Half of them stay in YDZ. The other half is exchanged into BNB. So you get equal proportions of YDZ and BNB, which provides liquidity for that pair. And then that fund, that money is then used to automatically inject liquidity into the market. And this happens every 48 hours. So what that's doing is adding additional liquidity into the market. It's not minting new tokens to do it. So it's not increasing the supply, but it is providing liquidity for people to be able to transact. And by providing liquidity for people being able to transact, that means more transactions can happen. And that means more fees and taxes are paid, which puts more money into the system, right? So that's the role I think that the Yale is playing. Besides that, you've got the Yieldzilla Emergency Savings, or YES. This is essentially the fund that pays the rewards. So it's a separate wallet in the ecosystem, and it backs the rebase rewards with the taxes that are coming in from the transactions that are happening. So the more transactions that are happening, the more buying and selling that's going on, the more money is going into the YES fund that backs the rewards. According to them, they've done the sums, and they think that's going to be enough to be able to back the 15 minutes, the rewards every 15 minutes through rebasing. But if it's not, then they've got the treasury, which backs that up. So its primary function is to support the sustainability and growth of the protocol. So it does that by backing the YES, but it also does it by providing funds for additional products, services, marketing, all that sort of stuff, other projects. So it plays both of those roles. It's sort of swing funds, if you like. And then the third part, or fourth part, is the black hole. And this is where 3% of all the fees go, whether they're buying or selling. And this is essentially a burn function. So they're taking 3% of the liquidity out of the market every transaction. And that's burn, gone forever. So that reduces the supply over time, and that will help to counteract the increasing supply that comes from the rebasing. So that offsets it. So they are the primary ways of that this protocol is attempting to be sustainable. So interesting. Will it work? Well, I don't know. We'll see over time. As I said, this is only 2 weeks old at the moment, so it's still very early days. If you look at what's happening with the price, we had a bit of a spike here on launch, which normally happens, then went down for a bit, and since then it's been going up. So it's actually well above the launch price. The people who got in at launch got in around here, around $17. And now it's at almost 27. So it's actually been appreciating over time so far, which is a good sign, early days. It shows that the system is working at the moment, but will it continue to work over long term? I don't know. So for those of you who are familiar with Titano, you'll see that this is very, very similar. The taxes are a little higher. Titano's 13% on purchase, 18% on sale. This one's 15% and 20%. The use of the taxes is very, very similar, essentially the same 4 pools, although the numbers are a little different. The main differences are that Yieldzilla rebases every 15 minutes instead of every 30 minutes, and it gives you a higher return, 916,000% per year compared to Titano's 102,000%. So what they've done is essentially taken the same mechanisms, they've tweaked the numbers in an attempt to provide higher rewards. Now, as I said, 2 weeks in, it's doing okay so far. Titano's been going for about 4 or 5 months. It's still doing okay. So maybe this one can continue on that for a period of time. In terms of what I like and what you need to be aware of, obviously the super high APY is enormously attractive if they can deliver on it. The process is so easy. So you just buy it on PancakeSwap, you leave it in your wallet and you don't touch it, basically ignore it. And it just compounds over time. So it couldn't be easier than that. You can pull your money out at any time. So you can just go into your wallet and sell it straight out of your wallet, which is great. So you're not locked in. You don't burn or lose your initial principal like some of the other protocols. And the other thing I like is that the liquidity that they've got in the system is actually locked in, which is going to make it very hard to rug. If we go over here to Pink Sale, which is where they launched, according to this, it's locked for 25,174 days, which is something like 70 years. And they've locked in the liquidity for that period of time. So that's going to make it very hard, because it's a third party holding it. It's going to make it very hard for them to actually pull that out, is my understanding. So it's good. In terms of what I'm a little less excited about is, again, the super high APY. I mean, if something looks too good to be true, then it possibly is. It remains to be seen whether they can deliver on this over the long term. I'm sure they'll definitely be able to pay out 900 plus % APY in terms of YDZ. The question is, what is YDZ going to be worth in a year's time? So that's going to be the real test for this protocol. The team is not doxed. It is KYC'd by RugDoc, but not doxed. So if that's a challenge for you or an issue for you, then you probably need to know that. But overall, I think this is a really interesting one. I did get in at launch just to put a little bit of money in there. It cost me about $17. It's now worth $27, plus with the compounding, I've probably doubled my money in the last couple of weeks, which is great. But whether that continues and how long that continues for is another question. So when that goes up a little bit further, I'll probably take my initial deposit out at some point in the not too distant future as part of my risk management. But I'll leave the rest in just to see what happens. At that point, I'll be playing with house money, so that is so I'm comfortable with that. And of course, you're probably wondering, should you invest in this? Well, that is 100% up to you. Now, I do not and will never recommend that you invest in any opportunity mentioned in any of my videos. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. All I'm trying to do is to present the information so you can make your own informed decision. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video should be construed as any form of financial advice whatsoever. You need to be aware that crypto is inherently risky, and it is therefore incredibly important that you make responsible decisions, do your own research, and if appropriate, get advice from a trusted and qualified advisor, which is not me. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing my own personal experiences in crypto for your entertainment. So whether you invest in this or not is entirely up to you. But if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like. Make sure you also hit the subscribe button to be notified every time a new video comes up. You can also join my free email list. That's where I provide more regular commentary, tips, information, and offers related to building wealth and generating passive income with crypto, and often stuff that is not on my YouTube channel. So I would strongly recommend doing that if you haven't already. And if you want to take it to the next level beyond that, you might be interested in joining the Sat Stackers Mastermind. Now, Sat Stackers is a close-knit, super active, and extremely supportive community of crypto investors talking about opportunities like this and many others day in and day out. And in there, you can get access to everything from over-the-shoulder tutorials showing you how to do just about anything in crypto, to access to exclusive investment opportunities brought to the group by our more experienced and well-connected members, all of whom I should say are in there every day, dropping serious alpha. So if that sounds cool to you, the link is in the description, or you can hit me up in the comments if you want more info. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.